Okay. Case study AUD/USD. This was New York session, December 11th. So I sent this out. It was in the Discord here. I'm talking about this setup right here. So by the time I sent it out, we already got a reaction on this move. But let's go right before that actually happened. So first, let's get into what actually makes this setup valid. The reason why this setup was valid is because what's going on here is this, right? We came down and we swept this last low. So, like I said before, whenever we have a sweep of a low, what we want to wait to see is we want to wait to see if price is going to break structure above, because if it does, we'll find the origin of that impulse, that movement that broke through structure, and trade that supply or demand zone that started that move. So, I'll jump down to the 5 minute time frame. So, here's what we're looking at. We swept the bottom, so we liquidated anyone that was in these buys here. Whenever you see sweeps like this, the market dips down and it just wicks under and pulls back. That means that liquidity was captured. And then once I see a break of structure, right? And when these setups in particular, if it's a sweep type setup, you actually don't need to see that two candle close past that area for you to consider that as a break of structure. I have a rule where I don't consider something as a break of structure unless two candles close past it. However, if it is a sweep setup where you have a sweep and then the market comes back up and pierces that structure above, that now makes this order, I was about to say order block, this demand zone valid. And again, all we do is we find the impulse that broke structure and we find the base of that move, right? The candle that's at the base of that move, and that entire candle is going to be our demand zone. Okay. Now, at that point, this zone would be valid for either. And guys, when you see these green zones, they're they have a higher chance of being valid to be able to be traded with the pending order. But you can still wait for confirmation if you want to play it extra safe and you want to make sure. But if I have reason to believe that this zone is extremely valid, then I'll say sometimes I'll set a pending order. But if not, we'll go and wait for our confirmations. So as soon as price touched this zone, we got an instant reaction. That is always a good sign when you see those instant large reactions. That's basically confirming that there was indeed money in this zone. This was indeed a mitigation, right? Where the guys that sold the market before they bought in, they're breaking even on those cells that were in drawdown. I'll explain that more in depthly in one of our chapter academy videos. Anyways, now that this market is in profit, let's say you didn't set a pending order. Okay, so if you didn't set a pending order, you probably, and if the market decided to take off here, you probably would have just missed it. But the market actually ended up coming back down to that green area, and this area is valid. Is still going to be valid as long as this area is still going to be valid as long as we haven't actually made the entire move that changes the type of market that we're in. Like this structure right here hasn't broken. So this zone is still valid because the market has not taken off yet. Now, if this market had broken structure and then came back to the zone, it would not be valid because that would change the dynamics of the trade. So this trade is still in still able to be entered. So sometimes when I show you these zones, you might think it took off, but sometimes these zones are still valid if it did not break out yet already. So anyways, if you were to be the person who's waiting for confirmation, here's now what that would look like. And in this scenario, since this is an M5 zone, this is a zone that I marked on the M5. Instead of looking for an M5 confirmation indicator, momentum confirmation on the 5 minute time frame that I normally do when there's a 15-minute zone, I'm going to look for an M3 time frame confirmation, right? And so there's that. I'm on the 3 minute time frame. So basically, if I'm on the 15-minute time frame, I'll look for a minute 5 minute time frame confirmation. And if I'm at a 5 minute zone, I'll drop down and look for a 3-minute time frame confirmation. So whether if you traded this with a pending order or momentum, this is what the trade would have looked like. And let's just see how long we hold on. Let me just set this real quick. So if I was setting a TP for the pending order, I'd take profit at the 1.27 Fibonacci extension level. So that's for the pending order. Or I would just exit when the momentum dies. Okay. But let's just have a look. Okay. So the momentum trade got stopped out. Stopped out once. And let's be patient here. So I have blue confirmations, but I want to see I also want to see a blue candle before I just go in and buy. One more. Good. So now is when. No, I'm gonna wait for one more because my MACD didn't break out, and I still have a red bar. All right, so this is definitely when I would buy. So here's what that would look like. Right, and a candle like this, I might even wait till it pulls back a little bit, but this is the trade that we would be in if we traded this with momentum. All right, back to my M5 time frame. So on the M5, this trade I would have exited right here, and the reason is because momentum died. And the reason why it might be more profitable to trade this way is because sometimes the market doesn't just pull back and continue to keep going. This structure was broken here. Like this major structure was broken already. So now that that broke, sometimes a lot of the times it's better to just, play a little careful and perhaps close out when you see the momentum start to die down, right? Because if anything, you can always just re-enter when the market comes back to a specific level. So exit out the momentum trade right there, but let's let it play out. Okay, freeze. This right here is a re-entry opportunity. So the reason why I marked this is because this is an area of the most recent area of support slash resistance here, and the market should or can bounce off this level. So because I'm looking for a potential re-entry right here, what I would do is, and let me just check something. What I would do is I would, excuse me, I would then again wait for a confirmation at this level, and it looks like, yep, yeah. So right there on this 3-minute time frame, because this is extremely recent, this is literally right there. So this is actually 5-minute structure. We're still on 5-minute structure. So a 5-minute structure, we can use M3 confirmation, and we'd be entering off of this candle, this next blue one right there. Okay, and now I'm back in the trade. Okay, so I got out after that 1 to 2, and now I'm back in the trade with this, and let's see where we go now. Boom. Right, and we're still going, by the way. What I need to see is I need to see if I'm this deep in profit. What I need to see is momentum die on the 3-minute time frame before I go ahead and exit. By the way, the TP was smashed if you took the pending order here. The pending order TP was smashed. Okay. Now, if you're the momentum trader, let me go and change the color on this. So if you're okay, you know what? If you set the pending order, that's no. If you set the pending order, that's gonna be. Geez, just trying to find a good color for this. It's gonna be your green. You set the pending order, that's your green right there. Okay. Now, if you are the momentum based trader, you're looking at this win and you're looking at this win, which we're going to see how far this goes. Okay, it stops there. And we'd exit at that first red candle here. Okay. So here's how that played out. I got 2 points plus 3 points, so that's 5 points with the momentum. Or if I set the pending order, that's 4.5. So this is basically the trade setup on AU. This is how you could have caught the morning. Now this didn't happen until later on the evening. So if you only traded New York, it would have just been this, right? Or if you got in on a little earlier, then you might have had something like that. But that right there is AUD USD.